All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday board work session. We're going to get started. It's 5:30. Welcome everybody online as well. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we will start with flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Tammy, if you will note that we have a quorum tonight. Together members. And then if we will just take a quick moment of silence for the tragedy that happened in Nashville today, I'd appreciate that. Right, 2.0, agenda additions, deletions, revisions, and an agenda approval.
Madam Chair, we have one agenda addition.
Okay.
Anna will be giving an update on the superintendent contract negotiations.
Okay.
So we could just, we could make that 6.0.
Okay.
Also add an update, probably from the superintendent on where we stand process-wise with the OSCA contract.
Yeah,
6.1.
Not details, but process.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
on 6.1. Okay.
And then if time permits, could we also have a discussion, maybe at the end of the policy updates, about the policy review process? Essentially the same discussion we had last time, but some sort of yes, change.
Okay.
And I'm betting we're gonna go through policies really fast, so that'll
Okay.
create time.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, we're gonna do that.
Okay, so I put the policy review process at 5.10. I have Anna doing an update at 6.0 and then 6.1 OSCA update. And that's Joel. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Miss Tammy, did you get all those? Okay. Anything else? Okay, do we have?
Motion to approve as well. Second.
Okay, all right, we have a motion to approve and amend and approve in a second. So let's roll call vote. Scott,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and myself, yes, as well. Okay. 3.0, further discussion of board vacancy appointment committee. Do you want to take the lead on this one since?
Sure. The committee, as I had proposed it, would consist of 9 members, 3 to be appointed by each board member. We would have to have some sort of meeting to hear each other's appointments and reconcile who the appointments are. From among that 9, once appointed, the chair would appoint a chair to organize it. They would receive the applications, they would review them, probably by some agreed upon rubric that they would put together, get back together and send us a recommendation for whom to appoint out of the applicants that we have received. We would be under no obligation to accept that recommendation, but we would give the weight that it deserves because the voice of our community. We can go up, down, or sideways, whatever we want to do, and then that becomes the appointment. I would think that there would be some. We would leave it to the committee, actually, depending on what they've got in front of them, to decide whether they needed some pre-screening interviews or just want to do a questionnaire, get people's feedback. They've done both. They'll have the questionnaires in front of them. They may be enough in those questionnaires that they can simply make a decision based on that. Some people take the application process seriously and some just sort of throw stuff on paper and turn it in and be held to complete the application. So I would give the committee broad discretion in the way they reach it, because we can't predict what they're gonna have in front of them when they get there. But I think if we all make competent, sober appointments, that they'll probably give us a pretty good sense of community.
Okay,
Or we can just battle through this ourselves.
I like the committee idea.
I've already got people on the hook,
Yep.
people in mind.
Okay, so it sounds like, we're each going to ask 3 members of the community to be on the committee. When do we need that selection by?
Well, applications closed February fifth.
If, right, at 5?
So I would think we would have to make those appointments before then, give them time for at least one meeting before, and those would need to be public meetings, if they're advisory to the board.
Right.
At least one organizational meeting to decide how they want to proceed. Get to know each other. So maybe like early next week or. But I think we've got a special meeting or something coming up. So that we're gonna do that later. So if we do, maybe we can go on that agenda.
Do we know when we're hoping to have a final decision from them?
We really, if we want them to be able to file for the March election, we're gonna need to make those appointments at the February meeting.
And that's
So they're gonna
February
have
10th.
very little time, or else we'll have a special meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess those people
The
could
fifth
file
is what, a
anyway,
Wednesday? I think the fifth is a Wednesday, so I
Yeah.
mean, they've got Thursday, Friday, Monday meeting.
Yeah. Unless we call a special meeting, which we could do
On a Thursday, or well,
after the,
After the board.
Oh, after,
meeting.
yeah,
He's
after the
thinking
board.
after the board.
we've
meeting.
got the filing deadline is March 20th.
it's when it closes.
Right, February 8th is when they open, March 20th is when they close. Right. So they've got a little time to still get in there. If they want to file, they don't have to file. They
Right.
just- They're not gonna continue past June if they don't. They'll
Right.
Get elected.
But I also feel like this, if they're already thinking about this, they may already want to file anyways.
Right, right.
And
Hoping so.
get that moving and just make sure that they've gotten that taken care of. So, um,
That's in the box of things they can't control.
right, correct.
So they very well might be able to have their meeting the Monday or Tuesday, the 10th or 11th.
Yeah,
Probably not 10. Well, I mean,
They
they
could have
could,
it somewhere
yeah,
else, it doesn't have to be here.
right.
they can have all their meetings by Zoom to make it easier for everybody.
Honestly,
They don't
they could be
necessarily have to
holding
do it
their
in
meeting
person.
while we're holding ours
Right.
too. Yeah, true.
Okay,
Except for staffing it.
I know.
Oh.
Wait a second, is that just be a
True,
public
you
meeting?
just got double booked.
Yep, no, we're not doing that.
Gotcha, okay. I was thinking timeline of what it looks like at the end, of what the end goal, end date is that you're trying to achieve.
But I think it also depends on how many applications you get.
Oh,
If they
sure,
get
Right,
Yeah.
4,
and if they decide to interview or not,
right, they should be able to, you know,
stretch out their time.
but they may get 20 or 30, who knows?
But whoever we appoint should be prepared for a whole lot of work in a short burst. Yeah, and then they're done.
And then they're.
Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like have our people ready to go very soon.
Next special meeting when everything is.
Okay. And then logistically, we have to get that
We can
process.
turn in all our names to Joel or Tammy so that they can cross-check and make sure we haven't proposed double appointments.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then you bring us the slate. Yeah, or call us back and say you can't both have the same one.
Okay, who want to get those names?
How about whoever's the last one in? Is the one that gets rejected.
Has to, if there's
Because
Actually,
we've
be
all
approved,
received,
there's doubles.
I would guess we've all received at least 2 phone calls from people that are interested in serving. I know I received 2 phone calls and they told me they were gonna call you, so that's where I got that too.
I've only gotten one phone call, but okay. Okay, so I mean, is that something that we want to do as soon as we're done here? Is email that to Tammy? Is that what we're doing? Or just, okay,
Yeah, I know who, I have
I know, I just wanted to, I didn't know if you did.
got everybody confirmed.
Okay, okay, so we'll just get that email to Tammy then.
Email with Tammy, and then later we can decide, we need a special board meeting, and this could be one of the agenda items on the special board meeting in the next week or so.
Okay. And then from there, it's just gonna kind of be logistics with whatever their schedule is.
Once you're chair, they get to
Take care of that.
organize the rest of it. Once they get to 2 recommendations.
Okay.
They get there.
Or they get there, whatever that looks like. Okay. Anything further? Mr. Woody?
Not on that.
Mr. Cooper, anything on that one? No, okay, all right. 4.0, further discussion of the school board weekly meetings. defer to Mr. Cooper again.
So. This is kind of dependent on whether or not, how long we're gonna run as a 3-member board. I don't know, you guys might be really glad to not be hearing from me at all, but I miss talking to you, which I cannot do at this point. Since 2 of us make a quorum, so if we're gonna have a delayed period for appointment, maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, doesn't matter.
Right,
Then, it might not be a bad idea for us to get together in a work session format once a week. To chat about whatever Joel and others need to talk to us about. It wouldn't necessarily be a decision-making forum,
right,
but it's a discussion.
okay.
Public can attend if they want.
One of Jen's problem issue, whatever. We don't have problems. We're just
Opportunities,
opportunities.
Mr. Holiday.
Was just, yeah, time crunch, but
Yes.
is it a Zoomable
Yeah, I think
Thing to be able to-
Zoom would make the most sense.
to keep it a little shorter, save travel time?
Yeah, I'll just have to figure that logistic out with my supervisor.
Well, I'm gonna do some traveling, so Zoom seems better.
Okay,
So I will make whatever it works.
okay. Do we want to see how the next week or 2 rolls? Or do you have something in mind for like a date of
No,
like,
I'm actually out of town.
okay,
We. The next board meeting is the 10th,
mm-hmm,
which is 2 weeks and a couple days.
Okay.
So,
I guess we could look at it as if something is pressing, Joel could reach out or
Yeah,
just kind of.
I'm just looking at the next few weeks. I know you mentioned you're out of town, so if we did determine tonight that we need a special board meeting early next week, because I think you're out, so that would be next week. Then we'd have a week off and then we have a regular board meeting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
counting today, we have 2 of the next 3 weeks, so.
What if you did like every other week?
Yeah.
Board meeting and then.
If needed,
and then if you need to talk to us, you should
Yeah.
feel free to call a special Zoom board meeting.
Yep.
With notice, rather than potentially engage in serial communication
Yep.
through you.
mhm,
Okay,
right,
we'll plan.
Jump on the horn
So I think, yeah, we'll get through next week and then as needed. We can do a regular Zoom because you're out of town for a while, so. Okay,
I make it easy, Zoom's fine with me, if I'm able to get everybody where they need to be.
just
know.
depending on what time it is, I'll have to be able to,
yeah.
It could be evening too, I mean, make it easy for you.
but you're the one calling the meeting, so I'm sure you'll be available.
Yeah, yeah.
maybe,
Because your early morning work starts until after, so afternoon, evenings, I know are better for your work schedule.
they are, but I mean.
Okay.
For you too, okay,
We'll do whatever necessary.
okay,
Okay, we'll play that one by ear.
okay. Anything further on that?
Nope.
Mr. Hardy, anything else?
Not on that.
Okay. Here comes the fun. Policy updates. Looks like 5.1 is Mr. Hoff first.
Yeah,
So can I make
Oh.
a suggestion, Madam Chair?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, please.
I assume everybody here has read the policies. I have read them and I have no problem with any of what's being proposed here. It's mostly catching us up in law.
Mhm.
Can I suggest if we have any questions, we ask them openly and then we adopt the entire policy batch in one motion?
I'm fine with that. If you want to go just with questions.
Because I have no questions about it. I'm going to make the motion to adopt.
Oh,
Unless you remember something.
It was, well, let me go through them.
most of it was, like you said, just, I mean,
as you guys are reviewing, just a reminder, so we did join the Community School Boards Organization. Tammy did send these policies off and they reviewed them. There were 2 that we initially were gonna bring to the board that actually there's been some changes at the federal level in Title IX guidance. So Community School Board said you might want to postpone this one, so it's not even on your agenda. And then there was another one, a minor revision that we pulled off as well. So these have been reviewed by the Community School Board organization. And then this is just a first reading, because we don't have unanimous board members. These will all go under legal review as well, and then be brought back to you at the February 24th policy work session for second reading and potential adoption. So.
Next question.
Yes.
Well, actually, this isn't even that first policy. This is, just flipping through all of them, actually, so I don't know.
Yeah, and
Depends on which one, who's. in
yeah,
charge
we
of
got
which.
Leland, Grant and Jay are on deck, ready to answer questions as needed. You guys might need to come up here.
Batter up.
If questions come.
I actually asked, Jay earlier this morning when I was reading through this, the JHCD. I've noticed in that and maybe I'm looking at something different or incorrectly, but I noticed principal and then I noticed school administrator and building administrator it seemed, I don't know if that's supposed to be the same person. That's consistently throughout that, but
Steve, are you looking at the medication one?
yes.
So that's me, sorry, bro.
Grant, you want to come up here just so our
Yeah.
folks at home?
Yeah, no problem.
I'm looking for clarification on, because he said, one paragraph said principal, another one said building administrator, another one said, again, it's supposed to be the same person or?
Yeah, that's a good question. And Leland actually looked through that policy as well. And that was kind of my question as well. I had the nurses look over the policies and they thought that they were fine, but that was the only kind of sticking point. So as the first read, I'm happy to go back and just make sure that that's consistent. Because yeah, that's a good point. That's what I noticed as well.
The other part I had was.
A different one?
No, same one, same medication, JHCDAR. It's actually page 5.5. 611, that's what it is.
Okay.
Section 2, subsection E. It is the student's and parents' guardian's responsibility to ensure that adequate amounts of medication is on hand at the school.
Mm-hmm.
Further down into that same, go down to,
Did you say 6-11?
yes, 6-11 is that page.
I don't,
Should be line 80. What?
this guy? This right here?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
So there's 611.
it's page 611, 2E is that. In the same policy. Section 8J. The medication is running low or inadequate dosage is on hand. The designated personnel will notify the student's parents regarding immediately. So you have one piece that says it's parents' responsibility, and another one says that we'll let you know when you're low.
Yeah, so I think. So it's,
If it's meant to be that way, then that's what it is.
I mean, and the thing is so at the beginning, the parent lets us know what the adequate amount is, and if they're running low. We've always felt like it's our obligation to make sure we let the parents know that they're running low, so that with time, so that way they can go to and get a refill. Yeah.
Well, that was, it seemed to be a one thing, parents'
Right,
job,
right.
and the other one said it was their administrative job.
Yeah.
Whoever's job. And then 10A, line 2, which is on page 911, is disposal of medication. Mixed with undesirable substance of coffee grounds or used cat litter. I know that probably just came from the OAR. We got
Right.
used coffee grounds here, but I don't think we have a used cat litter, but it just makes me wonder where we're
I
gonna.
will certain, because I've heard there is no kitty litter anywhere in our schools. So I want to go on the
Which
record
is perfectly
to
fine,
confirm.
but as far as disposal of medications,
Right.
I'm just, again,
Yeah.
are there other avenues to dispose of medications other than that? Because I just think that really pigeonholes you into a very
Yeah.
specific way of doing it. I don't have a problem with coffee grounds, but
Right.
If we can get rid of any reference.
if you're, that goes back to a residential garbage kind of thing. It's
So again,
because it's undesirable.
Correct.
take back programs are the best option.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, that's a universal thing. But for a school district of,
We could get rid of that.
I'm just, another option maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be.
We could take it out of there, because I don't think we'd ever do that anyway.
I think when it comes to waste disposal, no one is more expert than Mr. Holliday. Whatever he said.
I would agree with that. Yeah, okay,
Again, just more of a question of it, it's not here, so, yeah.
yeah, no, that sounds totally fair.
Why does it have to be used?
I don't know, I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Pour water on it.
Right.
According to such suspected abuse of child, JHFE, which would be page 3.4 of JHFE.
That makes sense in the policy, not in the AR.
Correct. Well,
No,
no, it's in the AR, unless it's listed in the policy. I think this is in the AR.
Okay.
3-4. And then what? Sorry.
Page 1 of 4.
It'd be-
This is 3 of 4
3
of
of
that,
4.
of the AR, 5.8. If you're looking on your tablet, you need page 44.
I think he's there.
Failure to comply. The employee will be disciplined up to and including dismissal. Or is that disciplined or is that, you just read finding to me?
Is it-
Will be disciplined up to and including, so just, you just read
It,
dismissed.
yeah, it could be up to and including dismissal, so they could be dismissed
Maybe
with
I-
a letter. It could have both in there. It
Maybe I-
doesn't necessarily have to be dismissal.
That's pretty standard.
Okay. Will be disciplined up to and including. dismissal. And they include dismissal.
And you could change that will to maybe,
I guess I'd be fine with the employee will be disciplined up to and may include dismissal.
I think because it's the up to,
Well, it just looks like it's, you're already doing this, but you're guaranteed this.
right?
So what's the point of even doing this over here? Unless I'm reading it wrong.
Could bring back some updated
Yeah.
language.
Yeah. It could just include the word may.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard and fast
That's-
rule.
that's really weird.
Didn't mean. That was it. That's all I had. But what are those noteworthy questions?
I move.
I did want to edit. Mr. Griffin, you did mention, policy process. One of the things the board voted on, I want to say a couple months ago was the process, and part of that was when we are using a policy work session, we'd allow at least 14 days between a first reading and second reading to allow community feedback. So the current plan on these, and plans change, would be, first reading tonight. We'd have our regular board meeting on February 10th, and that way, if there was any community input or feedback, they could give it then, and then we'd adopt all these policies, as well as some other ones that we've already done first reading at the February 24th. Do a second reading, and then we'd have a mass adoption potentially of 20 policies that have gone through a first reading and would be adopted on second reading.
What's the process for public to give feedback?
That would just be through public comment at the February 10th board meeting, if there were any concerns or feedback. So then that would give you guys, the board, a chance to hear that feedback and then make additional refinements.
Do you value in doing, allowing you to comment earlier, so you might be able to have time to make corrections?
Yeah, we typically, I think by policy, there's, some language around, work session public comment. Typically is not what we do. We could add that. Doing these policy work sessions was just an attempt to get caught up on, I think, our queue of about 80 policies. So doing it this way of allowing, receiving any public comment, if any, at the February 10th board meeting. Legal's also gonna review these as well. The board wanted legal to have their eyes on it a couple times. So if we have first reading tonight, legal would review, community school boards has already reviewed these, as well as then an opportunity for public comment. These things will have eyes on them over and over again. So that at least would follow the process that the board voted on a couple months ago, I think in November.
What if we, under the upcoming events section of the website, put up an item labeled February 24th, policy adoption, opportunity to comment? And then put a link in there and everybody can go through and read all they want to.
Yeah.
Send us their comments.
Because honestly,
Electronically.
I
Yeah.
would rather have them comment a week before instead of
Yeah.
10 minutes before we.
Yeah. Okay, we can definitely do that.
Because otherwise we'll have very extended, potentially very extended public comment. periods
Yeah.
Without warning.
Yeah. Awesome. We
Kind
can,
of give you more time to digest and.
I know a few people who can update our website and we can get that figured out in a.
Mr. Cooper, can you say again what you talked about the upcoming event?
I'm looking at the upcoming event, so put the date of the board meeting where we're trying to adopt all these 80 policies. And put an invitation in there that says, this is our policy adoption night, opportunity for public comment. You click a link, you go through, you find all the assembled policies, and you have a comment form that you can email back to the district, whatever mailbox you set up. Public comments that people might want to. Have at it, tell us all about it.
My biggest thing is I don't hear another.
Yes, prior,
At a
yeah,
time,
exactly.
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
So that's an awesome, and we have a backlog of 80. We've only done first readings on about, Tammy, I'd say about 20 to 25 that we take to Feb. So we'll get those 25 policies up there. That way it's, super transparent. People will have clear opportunities to weigh in. And then you guys would be able to do a mass adoption at that February 24th meeting. And then we could also at that meeting do first readings of another giant section of policies. So we would, if we stay in that process, we would be flowing through and updating a lot of policies over the next couple months. And also giving the community an opportunity to weigh in if they have any concerns.
You could also put it under the CCSD spotlight. You could replace the childcare services RFP that's been there and was finished up January 31st, 2024. But it's still on there for some reason.
Lots of great places to put policies on our website. So, and kudos, we've had a lot of people, speaking of websites, appreciate the board zone feature that we added. So that's been reviewed pretty positively. So we welcome website recommendations.
Yeah, how to start that zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that,
So Madam
Yes.
Chair, I move to adopt the 9 listed policies and policy updates, which Tammy can fill in all the letters of the minutes on first reading.
Second,
okay, so we have a motion to adopt 5.1 through 5.9 as a first read, and then we have a second. Is there further discussion?
So if we were to adopt all these tonight, then the community would not have had that 14-day window that I know the board
I
wanted.
thought that was for second reading.
No, that's, I went back and found when utilizing a policy workshop, the superintendent will ensure at least 14 days between a policy's first reading and second reading. So
Yeah.
these are all first readings.
So we're adopting the first reading and then the public can comment.
The policies aren't adopted yet. You're just saying adopt.
I'm saying
Get through.
adopt them on first reading,
Okay,
but they're not official until second reading. So people have 14 days still to comment.
okay. I didn't get, I knew it.
Get there. Just first reading.
You gotta give
First
me a-
reading does
yeah.
nothing but move it along.
Awesome, okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Holliday,
yes,
and myself, yes. On first read. Okay, 5.10 policy review process. This was an added agenda item.
So, yeah, and this is referencing where Joel was going. I just wondered if there was a more efficient way. There was some division within the board previously about how to approach this. And staff's recommendation was not adopted on the first try. So I wonder now if we could perhaps revisit and talk about maybe a way to mass review these and catch up our backlog, even if it involves sending the policies out for advanced review, giving us all an opportunity to review our own, and then coming back in a session like this and having a brief review of all of them. This process was efficient here. Could
In
we
the public-
replicate that on a larger
Public
scale?
input before we ever see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm all for this website idea. That way people can review them as needed. Everything's
Yeah.
transparent. We can bring that feedback to the board. We can get our legal team to review that backlog as well as send them off to the community school boards. They were very prompt in getting back recommendations. So I believe we've got a February 24th work session, and then a March 20th. March 20th, I believe going through this process, we'd be able to clear that backlog within that time
I
frame.
think our goal should be to clear the backlog by June 30th. So the new board takes over with, they're gonna have to deal with whatever comes out of the legislature for a whole group raft of policies. But at least they can cut their teeth.
Yeah.
Well, they.
We don't need to leave
the
them.
process, right? We've taken care of the old stuff.
Tammy and I will work to set up a time frame where the whole backlog is cleared by July 1st.
And I don't mind reading on my own. And then, is there an opportunity somewhere in our process for us to insert some additional policy review that's not coming from OSBA? There are some policy things we need to address that have been made very clear in recent months that are lingering out there, and it's time to pick them out. I think we need to take a better look at the complaint policy and consider some ways to maybe get rid of some of the unintended consequences. I know that we need to clean up the language around committee structure. Some of those things that we talked about and stumbled on at various times, but have never gotten fixed. So how do we bring those to the table?
What we can do is we can pull those policies on complaints and committees and add this to the log of things that we want to review. And maybe we move those to the front and add some special discussion time. And then also have community school boards was actually very prompt in getting back. So I'm a big advocate of getting different eyes on our policies, not just getting them from one source. So we can have multiple people look at that. And if there's any other policies that the board in particular, like these topics, want us to review and highlight, just let us know and we can get those added to the agenda for the February meeting and then get moved to March as well. So I got down to,
Do you want them by for the February meeting?
we'll have February or March. We're having weekly work sessions. We've got opportunities. So I've had down the complaint policy, which is KLAR. I'll pull the committee structures policy as well, and we'll get those to the list, get those on the list.
Was the public comment one? Was that one that we had a verbiage that we needed to change?
Yep, that was actually that's BDDH, and that's in tonight's first reading.
Okay,
And that was just one change from legal counsel on a heading
A heading,
was kind
okay.
of
yep,
misrepresented or misaligned with the policy language. So
right,
that's the first policy.
yeah. And what was your date on that, Taylor,
We've got, February 24th is our work session.
for these?
Yep.
Okay,
And then March 20th is another one. And then potentially if we get through March 20th, we could schedule one, I think, for April or May.
well, we had one out there. Do we not, do we do one? in-
We did one in
Not
February.
I thought
Oh,
we
but
did
I
one
think
up to-
May and June were still pending,
Oh, okay,
I
that's,
believe. Here.
Look at that, April 28th.
yep, 5:30.
Taskmaster,
Huh?
taskmaster.
Why do I have
That's one I will not be at.
the, April 28th?
Yeah, I will be joining by
Zoom?
Zoom.
I have one on the 29th as well. Of April?
Budget
committee? Budget
The
committee.
29th is the budget.
It's just policy work session.
Well, change the name of it. You
Oh,
can
well,
write Your phone, you work for a tech company.
it says I do not work for a tech company. Good try, though. Yeah, no,
Oh, that policy work session that goes,
it ends at 8:30 a.m.
yeah.
Okay, that's what's
Oh,
wrong.
that's just on the count, that's. a-
Yeah, yeah. I was
We'll
like,
get that-
wait, it's
We'll
right.
get that fixed.
I'll fix that right now.
Hey, we're
How's
going,
that?
we're going all night, guys. with
I
this,
know.
right?
I was like,
Get
wait,
ready.
it's done.
Clear that.
That's why.
Or pizza and.
Yeah, go straight into budget. Lots of coffee. Extra coffee that night. Okay, so that makes sense then. Okay. So, and then. Okay. Okay. Mr. Cooper, anything else? Or you're assuming that?
That was it.
It's okay. Anything else on that? Okay. Now we are looking at 6.0. Miss Anna, I think you're up.
Yes, and I'll just ask Mr. Holliday to jump in if like we want to add anything. This is regarding the negotiations with Dr. Skinner on the superintendent separation agreement. We believe we're getting close to having an agreement. Once we agree, we'll have a document that will need to be approved by the board before everyone can sign. We were, I think when we were directed to start this process, I think we were asked to do this as soon as possible. So we're kind of approaching the end of January, and it would be really great if we could have this process completed before the end of January. If we roll into February, it creates some complications with payroll and proration, and ideally, we would just avoid all that. So we're hoping to schedule a special board meeting that you all could meet and approve that contract. Thinking early next week, sometime if possible.
Yep.
Yeah, what day?
It depends.
It could be
Okay.
Monday. I think if we get something on the calendar,
I
then.
mean, even if it was a
it's-
week from today.
Force it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking, like, do you have a time frame in mind?
Not yet.
Like, are you like, okay, I think this day is safe to have it on this day, I guess is my point.
I like the idea of Monday or Tuesday, just in case the board doesn't approve it and we need to go back and come back to you with something in another meeting, then,
I have Monday and Tuesday available, so you tell me.
Tammy, are you?
Yep.
Good for either of them?
Yep,
Good
I
for
can do either day.
Okay, I'm good for either. Whichever one's,
Can we schedule it for Monday and then?
Sure.
For some reason, we're still not ready, maybe we then postpone it till Tuesday. But we would know 24 hours in advance, so we can make sure and post notice of the meeting.
okay,
Do you like 5:30?
By Friday, we should. You know. Oh, yeah, pick a time, 5:30 is.
5:30?
whatever's.
Do we want
that's
to,
good for
are we
you.
doing that in person or do it electronically?
It could be Zoom, especially if
How
it's
long is
just
this discussion?
one or two top.
I mean, I would think it'd be like, here's the
I mean, if it's tap, tap,
presentation.
open, motion, close, then there's really no reason to drag everybody out here. Make it easier.
Or you want to do Zoom?
I would suggest. Zoom.
Okay,
It's my whole goal, whatever you
what
want.
time is good for you?
5:30 is fine,
5:30, okay.
or we can do it in the middle of the day too,
Well,
but well, not for you.
You mentioned adding the, something about the board, school board process, the board member process. Does that need to be on?
Oh, that would need, yeah, we need our appointments.
Yeah,
By then,
and that's just.
that is nothing more than a quick
That's all.
5-minute conversation.
Yep, so if you
Yep.
email Tammy out those things, we can have that and have that as an agenda item.
Yeah, and we can do that before Monday.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
okay, so Monday, the 27th at 5:30, we are going to do a Zoom. Okay. This is a special meeting. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Mr. Cooper, anything else? Okay. All right, so 6.1 OSEA
Yes, so
Dr.
that's, we're currently in bargaining with our classified association. They did request mediation. So that's been scheduled for February 11th. We're looking forward to that. Jay's been our point person for that. We do, based on legal counsel, will continue to bargain with them prior to mediation. So that's set up for next Wednesday, the 29th. We'll have our bargaining team, one update. Because we're down to 3 board members, Steve will be the lone board member representing the team, so he'll be joining us. We're hoping to get continue to move forward in negotiations, so that'll be next Wednesday, and then mediation on February 11th.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly, for taking the lead on that one. Thank you for that. Okay, so that was 6.1.
I do hope that maybe on the 29th, some goodwill can prevail.
Yep.
And we don't need to go do this with a mediator.
Yeah,
We ought to be able to sit down and really work this out.
yeah,
Have it, and the team is saying they're exhausted from the OSCA side. So I'm sure we are too. Surely we can all just have a moment of kumbaya,
yeah.
figure this out.
Jay and I met with their leadership, not talking about bargaining, but both talked about we have great people. We have great classified staff that help this district run every day. And we are both very motivated to come to a fair deal that the district can afford and that, you know, is a respectable wage. So we're hoping to continue that goodwill and hopefully should have this figured out before having to go to mediation.
It's great news.
That would be good. The last 2 times I've talked to an OSCA member, they cried about this situation.
Mhm.
And that's not who we are as a district.
Not at all.
And I know that you care a lot. I know the whole admin team cares a lot. We care enough, we ought to be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I hope our district employees care too about the mission of serving the kids. They're willing to figure this out.
And there's our classified group is so instrumental in just the day, you know, whether they're driving a bus, they're the first people kids see, they set that tone, whether they're serving a sandwich. So we really are motivated to get to a place where everyone's feeling respected and we need them. So
Right.
we're optimistic. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. Okay, board, anything else? Mr. Cooper? Okay. 6:12, we're adjourning this meeting. Thank you.